Hi students, this is the fourth topic in the first unit. The topic is classification of embedded system. So we cannot simply classify some embedded systems. It is not possible. The classification is also having some criteria. Okay, the classification is also having some criteria. Okay, that is the classification. The first classification is based on generation. Okay, based on the different generations. Second classification is based on the complexity and performance. Third type of classification is deterministic behavior. And fourth classification is triggering, based on triggering. These are the four types of classifications. Okay, so one by one we will discuss. Okay. So the first classification is classification based on generation. Okay. So how these embedded systems evolved through years. Okay, so initially these embedded systems are built using what? Some 8-bit microprocessors like 8051, Z80 and 4-bit microcontrollers. Okay, 8-bit microprocessors and 4-bit microcontrollers. So some examples for the first generation, the initial embedded systems are stepper motor control, digital telephone keypads, etc. So these are some embedded systems that were developed in the early stage, first generation. Okay, so what are the features? 8-bit microprocessors like 8085 and Z80. These are the microprocessors we used, and microcontrollers were of what? 4-bit microcontrollers. Okay, these are the specifications of first generation embedded systems. Okay, then again, as I told you in the previous lecture, then again this IC technology evolved. Okay, so 8-bit microprocessor become what? 16-bit processor, and 4-bit microcontrollers become what? 8-bit microcontrollers. Okay, then the second generation embedded systems were built around what? 16-bit microprocessors and 8 or 16-bit microcontrollers. Okay, so an example for this 8-bit microcontroller is what? 8051. 8051 is an example for 8-bit microcontroller, and 16-bit microprocessor, it is 8086 processor. So that will come under what? The second generation. Okay, so some examples are like what? Data acquisition systems. Data acquisition systems are example like fax machine, scanner. Okay, so these are the things we developed in the second generation. Okay, in third generation, the embedded system is built around high performance 16-bit microprocessors or 32-bit microprocessor or microcontrollers. So in addition to this microprocessor and microcontrollers, they used digital signal processors also. So what is a digital signal processor? So a digital signal processor is specifically for what? Signal processing application for processing audio video signals. Okay, so we are using separate processors for these audio and video applications. Okay, so that is one improvement in third generation embedded systems. Also, they use the application specific integrated circuits. So ASICs. Okay, so ASIC are integrated circuit that is clearly for what? A particular application. So what is the difference between this ASIC and microprocessors or microcontrollers? So in microcontroller we will pre-program. Okay, microcontroller means 8051 is a common controller. Okay, so we can take that controller and we can program the controller based on our need, according to our need, or we can take Atmega microcontroller, we can program it and we can use it in an embedded system. Okay, application specific integrated circuit means what? That integrated circuit itself is designed for what? A particular application. Okay, and for these ASICs and microprocessors and everything, the instruction set is complex because it is using more number of bits. The instruction set is complex and powerful. It is complex and powerful. Okay, so what are the applications of third generation embedded systems? Robotics, industrial process control, networking, etc. Okay, next is fourth generation. Okay, that is our current generation. Okay, so one big leap in this chip manufacturing is system on a chip, or SoC, and reconfigurable processors and multi-core processor. As you can see, the evolution of processors like core to dual core. Dual core means what? Two cores. Okay, then i3, i5, i7, they are having multiple cores, 4 cores, 8 cores. Quad core processors are there, they are having 4 cores. Hexa core processors like 6 cores are there. So like that, multi-core processors evolved. So multiple tasks can be executed parallelly. So each core will act as individual CPU. So it will take a task and it will complete the task. Okay, so these type of processors bought high performance. Okay, tight integration. Tight integration means what? In a small area, so much components are integrated. And miniaturization. Okay, miniaturization in embedded system market. So all the device became small. Okay, so what are the example? So previously we used a big telephone. So nowadays we are carrying the telephone wherever we are going. Okay, or smartphones are there. Okay, so all these things are achieved because of the miniaturization. That is the fourth generation or current generation. So we don't know what will happen after 10 years or after 20 years. What will happen to this embedded system? Okay, so this is the classification based on generations. We have 4 generations. Okay, mostly these generations are based on the evolution of processors and controllers. Next is classification based on complexity and performance. Okay, complexity and performance in the sense how big and how complex these embedded systems are. Okay, first we have a small scale embedded system. Okay, so what is a small scale embedded system? It is a low cost, low performance embedded system which is small in size. Okay, the size is very small. Okay, so it is built around what? An 8 or 16-bit microprocessor or microcontroller. So it is suitable for simple applications. Okay, so where the performance is not time critical. Okay, so these type of small scale embedded systems may or may not contain operating system. So like MP3 player, small devices. Okay, they doesn't toys. Okay, gaming devices, they doesn't have any operating system. It may or may not contain operating system. It's not mandatory to have an operating system. Okay, next is medium scale embedded system. So if you are considering a medium scale embedded system, the performance will also increase, the size will also increase. Okay, the uh, cost of production will also increase. So it is built around what? A 16-bit or 32-bit microprocessor or microcontroller or digital signal processors. Okay, it has a slightly complex hardware and software. Okay, so it may contains a general purpose operating system or a real-time operating system. Okay, Next thing is large scale or complex embedded system. Okay, so this embedded system is built around what, a 32 or 16-bit RISC processors, reduced instruction set computing processor or controllers, or RSOC or multi-core processors and PLDs. Okay, so it requires complex hardware. Okay, the complexity of the hardware is very high, and it contains what, operating system, that is RTOS, real-time operating system, for scheduling, prioritizing and management. For all this purpose, we will use what, large scale embedded system uses real-time operating system. Okay, so in large scale embedded system, operating system is mandatory, but in small scale and medium scale, uh, it may or may not use operating system based on the application. Okay, whether it is necessary or not, it will decide. Okay, so this is the classification based on complexity and performance. Next one is classification based on deterministic behavior. This is one mode of classification. Okay, so we can say so both are real-time systems. Okay, so we are saying embedded system as a real-time system. Real-time system means what, the task must be completed within a specific time, that is real-time embedded system. So soft real-time systems are, okay, if we missed a deadline, okay, so at a particular time a particular action has to be performed. So if it is not performed, it can be tolerated to a certain degree. Okay, so it is okay. Okay, okay, so that is soft real-time system. Okay, missing a deadline is okay. Okay, it can tolerate a deadline miss, no problem. But hard real-time system, missing a program or uh, uh, missing a deadline, it will cause a catastrophic consequences. For example, financial. Okay, so as you know, ATM is an embedded system, right? Automatic teller machine. Okay, where we get the money. Okay, so what is the function of ATM? We will insert our card, then we will type, then money is generated. Okay, so automatically the balance will reduce. Okay, so automatically the balance will reduce. Suppose if the balance is not reduced, what happens? Again, if you are inserting the card, we can get the money. Okay, so some malfunction happened, something didn't work accordingly. Within some fraction of the second, something didn't happen, the balance didn't change. Again, if you put card, we will get money. Okay, so it may happen. So if it is happening, it will cause some financial burden to the bank. Okay, so as I told you in the case of oxygen supply and oximeter, okay, they are connected together, and if the oxygen is not supplied, human life will be lost. That thing also will happen. So these are some examples of what, hard real-time systems. Okay, so missing a deadline, or if the task or program is not executed, some catastrophic consequences will be there. Okay, so this is the classification based on deterministic behavior. Then the last type of classification is classification based on triggering. So what is meant by triggering? What is trigger actually? Trigger, we can find a trigger in a gun. Okay, in a pistol we can see when you pull the trigger, what happens? The bullet will go. That is what is called a trigger. Okay, so basically trigger means what? If you do something, some other thing will happen. Okay, if you do something, some other thing will happen, or it is like a switch. If you initiate, the process will start. Okay, So that is what is trigger. So there are two types of triggering other. One is event triggered and time triggered. Okay, event triggered and time triggered. So I will explain you what is event triggered. Okay, so same example I will tell. AC. Okay, so when the temperature is increased beyond a particular point, then what happens? When the temperature is increased beyond a particular point, the compressor of the AC will turn on and it will start cooling. Okay, so that is what is called what? Event triggered. Okay, when an event occurred, what is that event? Temperature increased. That is one event. Based on that event, what happens? Some task is performed. What is the task? Compressor turning on. That is a task. Okay, time triggered. Time triggered means scheduling. Okay, so I am instructing the AC, I am putting a timer, like the AC must turn on at a particular time. So I am taking my remote, and I am controlling. So nowadays the ACs can be controlled using your smartphone also. So you may have seen the advertisement, smartphones also can control air conditioners. That is also possible. Okay, so at uh, 10 p.m. AC must turn on. We can set it. Okay, so at a particular time, when the time reaches 10 p.m., the AC will be turned on and it will start cooling the room. Okay, so that is what is called what? Time triggered. And if you look into the example of traffic light, so traffic light is red, yellow, green. Okay, so it is having a specific time. Okay, every 60 seconds it will happen. Okay, assume that every 60. So for 60 seconds red will glow, and for the next 10 seconds or 15 seconds yellow will glow, and for the next 60 seconds green will glow. Okay, so this is time triggered. So when the time comes, the bulb will glow. LED bulb will glow and you will get that particular light. Okay, so that is called that is the difference between event triggered and time triggered embedded systems. Okay, so that is the end of this topic. Thank you for listening. So if you have any doubts, you can contact me. Okay, bye.